Hey everyone, hope you're taking it easy and your day has been great thus far. For this video, I'll be continuing through our retrospective unbagging with issue number 3 of Imperium for the Warhammer 40,000 setting. So hopefully I'm going to start getting some of my bearings with these retrospective little walkthroughs, I guess. Well, I don't even want to call it a walkthrough because I'm not walking through something per se. Anyway, issue number 3 of Imperium. So, what did it contain back in the day, other than a nice shot of a Ultramarine on the front? So, for issue number 3, from a hobby perspective, it included 3 miniatures, so 1, 2, 3, the Assault Intercessors, and a bottle of paint. Otherwise, in terms of the issue itself, information about the actual Intercessors, how to paint Ultramarines, which hadn't really been covered in the previous, well, maybe a touch, but how to start painting the Ultramarines. And I think in terms of the actual playthrough, there will be some close combat involved. So that is that. We'll have a look at the hobby side stuff at the end. Because number 3 was the start of my actual subscription, some of this stuff is still included. Now this is obviously the UK version. Now, when I hit issue number 4, I'll probably look at the modelling kit that was included with it, just because that's pretty much how it was packed to me, given I did not start the subscription at 1. Still a little bit jealous that we didn't get to see this, but I'm hoping Combat Squad will start soon in Australia. Also hoping to stop seeing that. Anyway, into the actual magazine itself. So, what do we have? So we have obviously the information about the Intercessors. We do have some background story, Dark Imperium, Tomb Worlds, and the assault on Drakthir. Putting the Intercessors together, how to do some painting, and the actual playthrough. I do need to remember what each of these sections are. Information about the Intercessors. Obviously in Ultramarines blue. And a little battle record there that you can use. And then in terms of the lore side, we have here we have Dark Imperium. Obviously I'm not going to read through everything, but it'll be interesting to read through all of this in full. Tomb Worlds, it's not too surprising that we have this, given Necrons were pretty much the other army that was pretty much included throughout this weekly subscription. And the Assault on Drakthir. So we still have some more story information. It's very cool that they include some of that. Short, but it's nice to be included. How to build the Assault Intercessors. Very nice. Well, I need to probably use some of that. Probably. So we do have the guide on how to build each of the 3 included minis. The how to paint. So some information about obviously the paint pots, using palettes, things like that. And then we pretty much have the actual how to paint the Intercessors. So pretty much slapping down the base of Macragge blue, and it also goes back to the Primaris Lieutenant that was pretty much part of the issue number 1, if I remember correctly. And then there you go, you'll have some completed models pretty much with their first coating of paint. Then the actual playthrough, we have the Necron Warriors and the Assault Intercessors. Unfortunately / fortunately, there is some of the initial shooting phase before we have some actual close combat with the Intercessors actually kicking off that round. That's pretty much it. I will admit, especially, and I say this, well, I have said this in the previous run-throughs of these issues, these little playthroughs are very nice. It's actually a nice quick way of trying to understand all the various phases in easy, digestible settings. It's unfortunate when I was getting into Warhammer back in second ed, third ed, we didn't have things like that per se. Anyway, reminder about the subscription services, and then on the back we have the coming soon. So there's issue 4 of Imperium. So there will be some Scorpack destroyers. We will have a bottle of paint, and it looks like there will be a battle mat from a gaming inclusion perspective. And then the teaser for issue 5, we will get a Primaris captain, how to paint the captain, and I'm assuming we're going to have some more playthroughs with some close combat, etc. Very nice. So that was pretty much issue 3. Very nice. Now, as for the hobby inclusion, so from a hobby side of things, we did get this nice bottle of base Macragge blue. Now, given that this has pretty much just been sitting doing nothing, the fact that I can hear this was probably the biggest win. I was actually super worried that because the pot had been just left sitting for like, what, years, the paint would have dried up and died, but the fact that I can hear it swish and all that, very nice. It'll be very interesting to see how these new Citadel colours work. So we have that. Now, as for the miniatures, so I'm not going to go through all of them. We will get 3 of these bases, pretty much with a pre-affixed hole in there, well, pre-drilled hole, for ease of attaching the minis to the base. And then as for the actual miniatures, we do get the single sprue of the Intercessors, with all their bits and pieces all over the place. Now, I will admit, the one thing that I am slightly saddened about, although it is easy to fix up, the Ultramarines chapter marking symbol is pretty much pre-molded into the shoulder. So if I intend to paint these up as something else, which I'm strongly leaning towards, obviously I'll have to spend a little bit of extra time and shave down the Ultramarine symbol. But that's not too bad. It's all plastic, so it's definitely not the hardest thing to do. But it's very cool. We do get this, and as I said, that's the 3 of them. And just for a quick look on the other side of the runner / sprue. Once again, I'm still actually not used to the fact that miniatures come like this now. Has been a while. Okay, so that pretty much wraps up the little retrospective for Imperium issue 3. Definitely starting to build up a few things, starting to get an idea of what I would like to paint these all the Space Marines as. I am definitely still leaning towards Blood Ravens, but who knows? We'll see. Reason being, I don't want to do any of the more known Astartes chapters just because iconography and stuff like that, I will get a little bit more fanatical about it. Whereas, you know, more Codex chapters, I won't be hopefully as concerned. Hopefully, we'll see. Time will tell. Anyway, it's pretty much issue 3 done. And yeah, issue 4 retro will hopefully be up in the next week or 2, at least after this one goes live. Thank you very much for sticking around for this retrospective run through of issue 3 Imperium. Feel free to leave a like, comment, subscribe if you liked the content. It does help support the channel. I do appreciate it. I obviously do understand from Warhammer perspective it is a new theme on the channel, but definitely not a old theme. Well, yes, it's definitely not a theme I haven't experienced in at least the last 2 decades. Time flies when you're having fun. I do have an Instagram account, same handle as the channel. There's a link in the description. It's still very much heavily Playmo related, but I do hope to throw in more 40k content there as well. With that being said, stay safe and take care, and I'll catch you all in a future video. See ya.